I'm getting married in December, congratulations. And my fiance has about $25,000 in federal tax debt. Sorry, he hasn't been paying his taxes, right? From 2012, my fiance is currently paying that debt through an installment program, okay, but is trying to settle the debt. What can I do to protect my assets from his debt? We live in California. Listen. If you are getting married in California, California is a community property state. What does that mean? That means all of the assets and debts that you have prior to your marriage is separate property. Anything that you acquire during marriage, including debt, is community property. So if you're getting married and your fiance has had debt, like this federal tax debt that he owes prior to your marriage, that's his liability. The federal government cannot attach that debt to your assets or yourself. Now, be careful though. So you are protected if you get married. It's not your debt. But if you and your husband start to acquire community property, let's say you and your husband buy a home together after you get married, well, the federal government can't necessarily attach their debt that they've had with your fiance prior to your marriage to your assets, but they most certainly can attach a lien against the home for, at the very least, his share of the home, his 50% of the community property. So that still does affect you in a certain way, and it doesn't. You're still fully protected, at least for your share of your separate property. Anything, again, you acquire during marriage is community property unless you have some prenuptial agreement. So if you want to give yourself a little bit of a stronger protection, sign a prenup with your fiance that anything he's had prior to marriage, debt or other assets, that remains his separate property. Same for you. Anything that you've had during marriage remains your separate property. And anything that you acquire that's community property, if your husband has any debts that end up getting attached or associated with that community property, it remains his debt and is not yours. It usually, from my understanding, it costs around $45,000 to set up a prenup, but I highly recommend it in this situation. If you need someone, I don't do this myself, but I do know a number of attorneys that are outstanding that can help you with this, and I'm very happy to refer you to them. Just reach back out to me.